Have you ever seen a mannequin that looked a little too lifelike? Is there a chance that that mannequin in the window you pass used to be a real person? Could it still be a real person? Today, we test the believability of La Pascualita.
Welcome to Believing the Bizarre,
Where we dive into the unknown and the unusual.
and tell you whether or not we find it believable.
You. Yes, you. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone is healthy. Just want to get this out of the way really quick. Quick shout out. Last episode where we were talking about Randonautica, we shouted out Haley, and there was another person, and we couldn't remember, and I felt like shit. I just want to get that out of the way now. So rain. Not like it's raining.
Yeah, like the name.
Phonetically, yes, but there's a Y in there. Instead of it, like if you substitute the I for a Y, rain, thank you so much. You also suggested randonauting, so we hope you enjoyed it. You told us you did, but we still hope deep down in your bones you weren't just being polite and you actually did enjoy it.
Like Sean and Sean. SHAWN and SEAN.
I feel bad for everybody who wears SEAN.
I mean, some people like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't like it.
It's easier, I guess. Saves you. How much time in your life, how much of your life do you think you get back from not having to spell out the extra letters?
I think 1 second every time you don't have to write the extra.
Well, think about every time in school you had to write your name. They were living years longer than the other Sean. So you know what? Good for the SEANs. Sheen.
We are not on topic.
So, as you heard from the intro teaser, we are diving into the creepy world of mannequins.
That's terrible.
Do you like mannequins?
No.
Ha, I kept this from Charlie because it's just there's only so much I can keep from him. And this is one of them. In the words of Dr. Horrible, a mannequin's gotta do what a mannequin's gotta do. I had to fit that in there somewhere. I hope someone out there likes Dr. Horrible. So anyways, this is where it originally was going. I'm going to be completely transparent here. I really wanted to do this creepypasta, and I was like, there's no angle. I have no angle to make this a worthwhile episode because it's just not real. And you guys would say it's not real. I would say it's not real. The author would be like, yeah, it's not real.
I would have said unbelievable.
Me too. And then, we will do stuff that is just completely odd and doesn't seem believable. But when it's like 100% fact, like you had a great spin on Slender Man.
Thank you.
This one, it just didn't work. So for fun, just to get it out of the way, I'm going to read this creepypasta and then we'll dive into La Pascualita.
Okay, sounds
you ready?
Good. I'm ready. I'm like a child. Crisscross applesauce.
Okay, so let's get this creepypasta. I wasn't going to say out of the way, but I actually really enjoy this. So this is called The Expressionless. In June of 1972, a woman appeared in Cedar Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles, California, in nothing but a white, blood-covered gown. Now this, in itself, should not be too surprising, as people often have accidents nearby and come to the nearest hospital for medical attention. But there were two things that caused people who saw her to vomit and to flee in terror. The first being that she wasn't exactly human. She resembled something close to a mannequin, but had the dexterity and the fluidity of a normal human being. Her face was as flawless as a mannequin's, devoid of eyebrows and smeared in makeup. There was a kitten clamped in her jaws so unnaturally tight that no teeth could be seen, and blood was still squirting out over her gown and onto the floor. She pulled the kitten out of her mouth, tossed it aside, and she collapsed. From the moment she stepped through the entrance to when she was taken to a hospital room and prepped for sedation, she was completely calm, expressionless, and motionless. The doctors thought it best to restrain her until the authorities could arrive, and she did not protest. They were unable to get any kind of response from her, and most staff members felt too uncomfortable to look at her directly for more than a few seconds. But the second the staff tried to sedate her, she fought back with extreme force. Two members of the staff had to hold her down as her body rose up and down on the bed with that same blank expression. She turned her emotionless eyes toward the male doctor, and she did something unusual. She smiled. As she did, the female doctor screamed and let go in shock. In the woman's mouth were not human teeth, but long, sharp spikes, too long for her mouth to close fully without causing any damage. The male doctor stared back at her for a moment before asking, "What in the hell are you?" She cracked her neck down to her shoulder to observe him, still smiling. There was a long pause. The security had been alerted and could be heard coming down the hallway. As the doctor heard them approach, she darted forward, sinking her teeth into the front of his throat, ripping out his jugular and letting him fall to the floor, gasping for air as he choked on his own blood. She stood up and leaned over him, her face coming dangerously close to his as the life faded from his eyes. She leaned closer and whispered in his ear,
"I am God."
The doctor's eyes filled with fear as he watched her calmly walk away to greet the security men. His last ever sight would be watching her feast on them one by one. The female doctor who survived the incident named her the Expressionless. There was never a sighting of her again. So pretty creepy story, right?
That is actually terrifying.
Yeah. It's also fake. So I really wanted to spin it. I'm sure there's a way you could do it, but just for the sake of this podcast, we're not doing it. So instead, let's leave Los Angeles and let's head south to Chihuahua, which is a
Mexico.
Yes, a northwest city in Mexico. So there is a bridal shop in Chihuahua called, me in my American accent, I would say La Popular. Now they might say it like not like that.
No.
But me in Ohio, I will say La Popular.
Oh, that sounds wrong.
I got Chihuahua and Pascualita right.
There you go.
So that's
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. So La Popular is owned by Pascuala Esparza. I might be 4 for 5. I could be still 2 for 5. Your guess is as good as mine. So Pascuala Esparza had a daughter, and in a seemingly perfect fit, because she owned, a bridal shop.
Yeah, for
her
sure.
daughter was set to get married.
As one would probably do.
Right. You think she like gave her a coupon, or do you think she made her pay full price for a dress?
I hope she made her pay double.
Double?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense. I was thinking at least she's like, you should have used honey. Do you use honey? You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
I do. No.
You should. We're not sponsored, but you should use honey. So anyway, as with about 50% of marriages, tragedy strikes. She actually didn't get married, but on the wedding day, Pascuala's daughter was bit by a black widow and died.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know there were black widows in Mexico.
I didn't either. I was expecting, like, I don't know. I got nothing.
Yes.
A rattlesnake?
Yeah, rattlesnake. You know what? If this is fake, they probably should have said that instead.
Yeah, or like a cobra.
Right.
Cobras in Mexico? King? No, no.
No.
It'd still be sick, though.
Anyway.
A cobra fell out of a plane, fell onto her face, and she died.
She wrangled with it. So you wouldn't have been happy anyway. He's a cheater. That's too serious. Shortly after Pascuala's daughter's death, people started noticing a very, very lifelike mannequin in the window of the bridal shop. And not only was the mannequin lifelike, it resembled Pascuala's daughter, which is why it got the name Pascualita, which is little Pascuala.
Oh.
So not only is the face of this mannequin astonishingly expressive, like it's got the thick eyelashes, the glassy eye glaze, but the hands. If anybody wants to look this up, I really implore you to look at her hands, because it is just ridiculous at the amount of detail. Like the wrinkles, the formation of the hand, like it's just amazing. And even the legs have varicose veins, which I looked it up. And varicose veins are swollen, twisted veins that lie underneath the skin. Usually occurs in the legs. It's a common condition. It's caused by weak or damaged vein walls. But anyway,
my grandma has those.
Yeah, and so does this mannequin.
That's so creepy.
This mannequin has that. It has realistic curve of the ears, hollow nostrils, small wrinkles and folds of skins on the fingers and the thumbs. I'm telling you, it even has fingerprints. Now if I was a police officer and I was taking this very seriously, I might look into those fingerprints, but I'm telling you, the hands sell it.
Oh, man. You know what I like mannequins in my mannequin? I like when they're just the body.
I thought you were naked?
No, no. I mean, like, with, like,
Where it's like a little bit too cold in there, you know what I mean?
Like no face. Not even legs, it was just a shirt.
Like my women no head. Don't need it.
I'm not Ed Kemper.
So, as you would expect, the mannequin is donned in an over-the-top, beautiful wedding dress right up front.
For sure.
And here's another interesting fact about La Pascualita. Unlike the other dummies that are changed in the window, La Pascualita is literally taken away with curtains and she's changed privately. Like I don't know if it's like a superstition, if it's the idea of it's being a special mannequin or, like to preserve her modesty, but they don't change her in public or in front of anybody. Naturally, journalists are going to come and they're going to want to talk to the owner and say, is this real or what's going on? So the current owner at the time of my research, Mario Gonzalez, they asked him what's going on? Is she real? Is she not? Is it true? And he said, oh, is it true? A lot of people believe it is, but I couldn't say. So kind of evasive, right?
Yeah, that's really vague. What is Mario hiding?
Yeah, it seems like a clear opportunity to just kind of shut it down, right?
Shut that shit down.
So this leads people to question, is this mannequin actually an embalmed corpse of Pascuala's daughter?
I really hope not.
So let me ask you this question. Is it even possible that it could be an embalmed body?
How long has it been there?
Since the 30s.
Oh.
So
no.
Over 90 years.
No.
Why is that?
Well, it wouldn't stay like that.
Yes, unless there were extenuating circumstances. So, let me take you to extenuating circumstances.
Okay.
Have you heard of Vladimir Lenin? I won't put you on the spot. He is a former head of government for Soviet Russia.
Sure.
Massively loved.
I was gonna ask, John Lennon?
Not John Lennon.
Okay.
No. Nobody cares about John Lennon.
Oh, jeez. It's not true.
It's not true. So he's in a mausoleum in Moscow. It's like a glass container.
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
a bed of red silk or whatever.
Gotcha.
But it's been 96 years since his death. And a lot of people think that it's a wax figure. But it's not a wax figure. It's actually his real body. You're not shocked? No response?
I was kind of thinking of Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty is in the glass case.
Oh, no, it's Vladimir. It's good old Vladimir. So all of the internal organs were removed, and basically it just left the skeleton and the muscles behind. They just continually rebalming him.
Really?
Every 3 days, he's not rebalmed every 3 days. He's taking care of his skin, whatever chemicals they put into him. I have no idea the stuff that they inject in that body. It's probably they probably wear hazmat suits when they do this. But every 3 or 4 days, they have to check in on him and do little maintenance things. But every 18 months, he is embalmed again, along with other chemicals.
That's crazy.
So what they say...
What's the point of that?
Well, what they say is that they kept pushing his funeral back. He died, and they were going to bury him, or they were going to cremate him. But it was such a big event for Soviet Russia that it's more and more people wanted to come and kind of mourn and pay their respects. So they kept delaying it until I think they're just it. We're just going to put him out there for y'all to see. How much do you think the person who embalms him 18 months gets paid?
4 rupees. I don't know.
Rupees?
Isn't that their money?
Rupee.
Ruples?
I thought you said rubies.
No.
That's worth. He gets paid once every 18 months, but they make sure it's worth it.
1 ducat.
So anyway, the point of that is to show, under extreme extenuating circumstances, yes, it can be done. But do those extenuating circumstances follow us back to Chihuahua, Mexico for Pascualita?
I don't know, do they?
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll leave that up in the air for now. So you're wondering, it's weird that they could have a live body as a mannequin for dresses and stuff, and it's a strange thing. I don't know why a mother would want her daughter to do that. But you're I don't really know if this is a Believing the Bizarre topic. It's weird, but it doesn't seem creepy. So Tyler, does it ever get creepy?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yes, especially for some of the workers and the customers. So over the years, customers have claimed that La Pascualita's eyes follow them as they walk around the store.
No!
Some people believe that they'll leave her in one position and then when they come back, she's in a different position. This kind of goes into like that, if you don't like ventriloquist dummy type thing, like Slappy, Goosebumps.
Yeah.
And there was a Twilight Zone about it. There was a mannequin Twilight Zone. I think it's called After Hours, where the mannequins come to life on like the 4th floor.
There's a Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode with Mannequin. Not
Yeah.
Mannequin. What's it called? I mean, a little dummy.
Ventriloquist
Yeah.
dummy? Yeah. Something about dummies, man. One of the shop workers even claimed, and I quote, "Every time I go near La Pascualita, my hands break out in a sweat. Her hands are very realistic, and she even has the varicose veins on her legs. I believe she's a real person." End quote. It's not just like random people like us trying to entertain you talking about this stuff. Like you even have shop workers, I think that's their official title, saying, this is real.
Why don't they just
Cut her in half.
toss her out?
Well, they can't. I mean, this is like a prized possession. Well, I think we'll get to why they don't. But, I mean, if this is a mannequin that they won't even change in front of people, I don't think it's something they would just throw out. There's like, it has like notoriety in that shop.
If it's creeping you out.
So here's one theory. The theory is that the actual head of Pascuala's daughter was removed. So it is a mannequin's head, but it is Pascuala's torso and extremities, and that she comes awake at night to look for her head.
I hate it. I hate everything about this. I hate it.
I have to say, that's to me is more, not necessarily the coming to life, but that makes more sense to me with the fake head on top. Even though the face and the nostrils and the ears, everything is incredibly realistic. It could just be a damn good mannequin. But, like, I swear, you guys have to look at La Pascualita's hands. Like, it's just, ugh. And then there's another version of the story, which is, let's just say fun. There's a fun version of the story that says a visiting French magician became so entranced by the bridal mannequin that he would visit her window each night and bring her to life, and they would dance around town and then would return her to the storefront each morning.
That's not a magician. That's a wizard.
A wizard?
That is a warlock of the 9th dimension.
Like a nerd one. He can't I can't talk to girls, so I just hang out with the mannequins.
I mean, everyone's got their hang-ups, man. I couldn't talk to girls for like 10 years.
Did you hit it off with a mannequin?
Nah, I couldn't even do that.
Even the mannequins like turned away. Shit. So in essence, that is the theory, the story, the mystery of La Pascualita. So let me dive into this. Why do we find mannequins so creepy? Like I said, there's the Twilight Zone episode, the After Hours. There's Slappy. There's the ventriloquist dummy. There's Twilight Zone ventriloquist dummy. I have a theory. It's pretty well known, but I'll ask you if you know it.
I think I do.
I know you know it. I'm thinking it to you.
I want to say
listeners are screaming at you.
It's Hidden Valley, but I know it's not ranch.
You do hate ranch though.
I do.
Wait, okay. This is the real question. Would you rather be locked in a pitch black room with a mannequin or a bowl of ranch?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I guess the ranch. I don't know.
I guess the ranch. It's not Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley Ranch. No, it is the Uncanny Valley.
Damn it! I knew it was a valley.
You knew it was a valley.
Yeah.
So Uncanny Valley by I'm gonna be like 1 for 7. Masirio Mori.
Nailed it.
Mr. Mori. It's a theory from the 1970s. It's basically a hypothesized relationship between the degree that an object can resemble a human being and the emotional response to that object. So basically the concept suggests that a humanoid object that imperfectly resembles an actual human being provokes strange, uncanny, yet familiar feelings of eeriness and actually revulsion in observers. It's like, but it's a valley because of a chart. Don't think about like a landmark necessarily like a valley. The closer that something gets to being human, like a toy robot or like a stuffed animal, it goes up. But then the closer it gets with like the minor imperfections, the more it goes down until you get all the way down on like that XY platform of like the absolute minimum. Like you're very close to looking like a human, but you're too close, therefore you're all the way at the bottom of what we like and what doesn't freak us out.
Like okay, so like, you know those potato french fries? You get like the smiley fries?
Yeah.
Those aren't creepy.
No, those are okay.
Because they don't look really anything like a human. But like a robot that is like silicone face is kind of creepy.
Right, and that's why if you think to like cartoons, like if you think of like SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, or Courage the Cowardly Dog, like they have like accentuated chins and big noses and like their face, you can see like, okay, I'm looking at a human character, but they're not trying to replicate humans so closely that you actually get freaked out by it. I have a couple examples, and I will post these on. If you enjoyed the fact that we timestamped and put out the viewing materials for Antarctica, it'll be very similar to that, where when you get to this point, whatever timestamp we're going to be at after editing, you can go and look at our Instagram and you'll be able to see these pictures. So the first one is Telenoid, which is a robotic communication device designed by Japanese. Oh God, I'm gonna be. This is a bad day. Japanese roboticist Hiroshi. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right.
So it's got like a bald head, lifeless face. It's just these limbs are just hanging there. It looks honestly more like an alien than anything. So I'm gonna show you, Charlie, so you can have a reaction. Again, this will be on our Instagram, so you can see. So what is your reaction to this?
Oh my God, it's terrible.
It makes you just want to get a sledgehammer.
It's like I want to kill a child in a way. Like, it looks bad.
That would be your reaction to seeing this, is killing a child. All right,
okay,
good to know.
If like I saw this thing crawling at me at like night, I'd stomp its face in.
If you guys ever see us out and about, before you say hi, hide your children from Charlie. It's the eyes, man. Ain't no soul in those eyes. All right, next one is Sofia, which I think is probably one. I think you were picturing her in your head when you said like the silicone face.
I think I know what you're talking about.
She was designed by David Hansen of Hansen Robotics. Very clever name. She's one of the most famous humanoid robots because she could like think. Like she could have a conversation with you. I feel like she was on the news in like the last year because she was talking about something about humanity and it really freaked people out.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I'm going to show you her again. This will be on our Instagram, but I want to get Charlie's reaction to her now.
Do you want to destroy humans? Please say no.
Okay, I will destroy humans.
So what is your reaction to Sofia?
It's frightening. It is just, it's not frightening because it's scary. That's so weird.
It's the Uncanny
unsettling.
Valley. Yes, unsettling is a really good way to put it. Like that, or like female Jeff Bezos. Those are the two.
I believe she makes $13 billion a minute.
All right, so with that information, let's dive into the discussion. So I have a couple ideas about this, but let's hear. I want to hear where your mind's at before I kind of go into some of my stuff.
About
La Pascualita.
I think they need to burn it in the backyard.
Burn it in the backyard.
If it's so sacred,
That's true. You can't do the front yard. If they're gonna take the time to cover her, they're not gonna burn her in the front yard.
They should take it to the ocean and do a Viking funeral with it, just as far away as they can.
Let's do the of Mice and Men. Take her out back. She's like, Georgie. I'm just like, or is it? It's Lenny.
Yeah, it's Lenny.
She would be Lenny, and then George would be the one. You know.
Yeah,
just keep looking off of the sunset.
And it would too, though, like because it's a mannequin.
It's true, it would. And then the head just blows up, and there's brains everywhere. And he's like, "Oh, they were right."
Well, don't fingernails grow after you die?
That's what I think so.
Don't they have to like manicure that?
I feel like cartilage, right? They say like noses and ears don't stop. So I feel like and nails. So I'm just saying things. Okay. I'm just talking about body parts over here. So let me give you a couple things. One reason that they were able to prolong Lenin's embalming and everything is because it's cold in Russia. Like it's like not like it's not crazy.
No.
It's like walking in your fridge, not your freezer.
Right.
With vodka. But in Mexico, come on, it's hot. It's hot. So it's hot. So I feel like that kind of is one strike against it in terms of prolonging this. And also just the extenuating circumstances of what they have to do to preserve Lenin's body in that mausoleum. And then if you imagine that they take all that time and effort, it just seems a little like overkill. They never mention the name of the daughter. It's just like the daughter, or it's Pascualita because it's little Pascuala, who's the mother. Like, you're not even going to call the mannequin the name of the daughter.
That's really messed up.
I read many an article and not one time they mention the name of the daughter. So either it's a forgotten detail or it's a little fishy. And two, come on, the owner being like, I don't know. The only way to find out is by coming to my shop.
Is it Marty's just trying to get
spending
business.
Your money? Oh yeah, it's come on, business, baby.
Yeah.
He's like, there's only one way to find out.
Yeah, the cheapest dress we got is $5,000.
You can get your picture with her for $5.99.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so it seems... Now, don't get me wrong. If you look at the pictures, it is like... It's
disgusting?
creepy. Yeah, I really... Like, if I had to pick one, if somebody had a gun to my head and said, one of these is true, pick it. It would be they got rid of her head and, like, the torso and everything. Like, the magician, that's one thing. And it actually being her head is, it's another. Because it does still have mannequin-like qualities, even though it's it could just be a badass mannequin.
I think it's a mannequin, dude.
You think it's a badass mannequin?
I think it's just a really detailed mannequin.
Yeah, but, I mean, rumors all have to be true, right? They have to come from somewhere. It can't just be made up.
I heard a rumor.
For business.
That's from Umbrella Academy. I've been watching.
Umbrella Academy.
I've heard a rumor.
Is that Resident Evil?
No, it's a comic book.
No, I don't care.
All right,
Sorry.
Cool.
So let me pitch it to you the way that I want you to do it. Where do you fall on the believability scale that La Pascualita, the mannequin, is more than just a mannequin? Whether it be the head, the torso, where do you fall that it's not just 100% plastic badass mannequin?
I'm dubious.
Dubious.
I find
That's
it
not on our scale, bitch.
Dubious that this is anything but plastic and such. But I will
Plastic
say,
and such.
I don't know what goes in a mannequin. Skeptical. I think skeptical.
Skeptical?
Yeah.
That is exactly where I land. I'm exactly the same as skeptical because it definitely on the lower end because it just seems like a great ploy to get people to your shop.
Yeah.
There's missing details and when you find out how difficult it is to keep an embalmed dead body like out and about in like it just and I think it's just like, oh, we got to clothe her in different areas. The shop workers think she's alive and
There's a lot of like
ploys,
pomp and circumstance to this.
Yeah, it really seems like come to our shop because it's unique and crazy and
yeah,
we got a dead body on display.
Yeah, right.
With fingerprints.
I feel like if people found it really believable, cops would check it out.
Yeah, and
Well, I don't know. It's
maybe they
Mexico.
did, and they just tell the cops like, "Hey, you got a daughter getting married soon?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
try honey.
Yeah, and honey. So we're the same, and we land on skeptical for La Pascualita. So that is our episode on La Pascualita. I hope you all enjoyed it.
I did.
Did it live up to your expectations? I know you probably couldn't even fall asleep last night because you were so giddy.
What?
I texted you last night. And
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
you have no idea what this is going to be about.
I was nervous for I'm not nervous. I was excited and
He's like, I hope it's good. If you all are enjoying the podcast, please keep up the engagement. We love hearing from you all. We love seeing you guys post about it, comment. It means a lot to us. Also, I just want to get this out of the way because it's kind of a weird thing. I'm sure the majority of you that listen to podcasts don't only listen to our podcast, so this probably isn't something new you're going to hear, but I just want to talk about reviews for a second, because this is me being 100% transparent. If there's something you really, really like about the podcast or something you really don't like about the podcast, more than anything, I prefer you hitting us up in our Instagram DMs, because I like the back and forth. I like kind of establishing a relationship with you all. Like, it's cool because I see your stories, we see your messages. If you listen to us and you're on Facebook, hit us up on Instagram, because Facebook is like a barren, it's like when you see that little tumbleweed walk by.
Yeah.
Y'all on Instagram know what's up. But anyway, like, why do reviews matter? Especially most of you guys listen on Spotify anyway. But for those of you that listen on Apple, a way that helps the podcast grow and rank, and there's this little thing if you're browsing on Apple Podcasts, it's called new and noteworthy. If you look at the top ones on there, it's totally by reviews. It's not by how many episodes you have. It's not even really about your review score. If you look on new and noteworthy, you see people up there with 3.5 stars. So it's not even about what you leave. It's just the top ones have the most reviews and the bottom ones have 400 or 500. So honestly, I care more when you reach out to us directly and you say, I like this, I didn't like this, because we can have a back and forth. But in terms of helping people find the podcast outside social media, browsing and stuff, that is where reviews matter. So we would appreciate it if you left us a review, because that would help us grow. It's not because I don't care what you have to say and I want it far away on Apple reviews and it's whatever, just post it. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Because I really want to hear from you. If you'd like to post it there and to us in our DMs, I would love that, because I'd like to talk to you about it. But that would be the reason why we would even mention leaving us an Apple review, just because it does helps people find us organically searching and browsing through Apple Podcasts.
Also, the Instagram stuff has been kind of helping me get out of my shell a little bit.
Yeah, we're both introverts, but I'm like a forced out of my comfort zone introvert, where
Yeah.
Charlie's a little bit more comfortable.
I can hide easier, but if there's a lot of messages, it's harder for me to hide. So I talk to some people, and it's hard for me, but I still appreciate it.
Yeah. So above all, we appreciate the engagement. If you listen to this and you're like, I love the podcast, love the episodes, I'm not going to leave you a review, that's fine. Yeah, seriously, if you guys don't want to take the time to leave a review, we still love you. And there's many other things we appreciate about you beyond that. Just listening in general. The fact you're still listening. Episode's over and you're still listening.
Yes.
So if you're hearing this, I love you. But if you could leave a review, it does help us out. So take it or leave it. That's our pitch on that. And we'll probably mention it again because that's what you're supposed to do. But that's just so you guys know where we land. That's what it is.
Yeah. Thank you again.
We hope you enjoyed the episode. Until then, join us on our next episode of Believing the Bizarre.